This is Jay.
This is A.
And this is Moxicated,
where we drop the booze and walk through the reality of life alcohol-free.
So grab your favorite mock, get ready to laugh, and let's get Moxicated.
Hello, and welcome back.
Hi. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
I was driving and I was thinking how honest gals we are because we record Mox Mondays on Mondays. So it's
That's
like
hilarious.
true Monday energy, you know what I mean? Like we're actually living it. We
That's a
are
great
authentic
point.
to our Mondays because this is actually our Monday.
Yeah.
And how are you feeling on this Monday?
Good.
That was not true. Don't you lie to our listeners, young lady.
Oh, there's just I love Mondays, but with school starting, I somehow forget what overscheduling feels like. And so I just get a lot of feelings and I get like hard on myself for scheduling so many things. And then also there's just a lot of feelings on Mondays, I think.
I wonder what it must feel like for you to reach that point, because it's so much different, you know, than mine. Like I have one thing a week and I'm like, that's too many things. I'm overscheduled. And so like for you to get to that point, it just must feel so different.
Yeah, it feels frustrating.
I bet. And you deserve a break. Everyone collectively agrees this in the world. So whatever you need to take off that schedule, if you're the person, I'm sorry, but it's prescribed by me, the doctor. She's got to take that off the schedule this week.
Dr.
J. Dr. J and Dr. Dre. We would have been the perfect combination.
Yes, you would have.
Dang, that was a missed opportunity. You know what? This Monday started out good. I cannot believe it. All my kids woke up. They were happy. They got to, I was going to say bed. They got to school. We were on time. And then I had an appointment, a physical therapy appointment, because apparently I couldn't turn my neck and I never knew it. I also have on this side, my shoulder, you can't manipulate it. It feels like a hard rock. And on this side, you can feel my normal body parts. So I'm just discovering this and kind of working through the feelings of that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Like when you think that you're doing something for your body that is helpful, but because of past trauma to your body or just ways of holding yourself, you're actually harming yourself. That's a crazy thing to deal with.
It is.
So on this Mox Monday, I feel like these two water signs both come already having cried.
It's true. And it's in the morning. We're recording in the morning, just so you guys know this. We record Monday mornings.
It's in the morning. So it's actually the perfect day to talk on this Moxicated Monday about sitting with your feelings.
Yes. It can feel so hard, especially in sobriety, because we're not numbing the feelings anymore with alcohol. And so it's amplifies these feelings even more to an extent, would you say?
Yeah, well, it makes them, they are always loud, but before we were just drowning them out. Now they're just as loud, but it's almost like as you work through sobriety, you do have these tools to be able to handle them, but they're still scary.
Yes.
And I think if you're an earth sign, they're even more scarier for you guys to sit with the feelings. Or even there's just a lot of people that want to move through it. Okay, I had my little cry, or I felt sorry for myself for a second and now I'm going to move through it, almost as if they're in charge of the feeling.
Yeah.
But he. I've literally never laughed like that.
It sounded psychotic.
I am a psycho.
Literally
I am psychotic. I hope that haunts all of my ex's dreams.
It's gonna haunt mine.
If they listen to this podcast, just take that part away. Because we don't have control over anything.
No, and when you try to control these types of things, like me, I control my schedule, I control my routine, I have every piece and every part, and then something happens that I can't control.
Pops up.
And then I spiral.
Bye. Well, and that's the thing I think too with me and Allie is sometimes we'll sit in it well, I will sit in it too much, or we feel it to a different extent. And so how we move through it can be different depending on, that.
Yes.
So
let's go through how to sit in it.
yes, we found this. I didn't. Allie did her research and found this cute little graphic that is just steps of sitting with your feelings. So maybe if you're not sitting, which you're a Wonder Woman or person or human for walking around and listening to this podcast, but maybe you take a seat.
I never sit while I'm listening.
Maybe after this, you take a seat. Whenever you're ready, take a seat, because we're going to sit, talk about sitting with those feelings. So why don't you start with the first one?
All right. The first one is acknowledge those feelings and allow them.
Yes.
Because once again, when we try to control them, it backfires.
Or ignore them.
Yeah, it makes them louder.
And I think, I always think of our inner child when I think of ignoring feelings, because it's almost like, if you have children or you've been around children, if they're like, hey, I need this. Hey, I need this. Hey, I need this. They're like, at the end, your arm is getting pulled. They're screaming in your ear.
They're literally tapping on your face. And I'm like,
your clothes are dirty because they've pulled them almost all the way off with their chocolate hands. That's what I picture your feelings if you ignore them, that they, it might take a little bit, it might take some time, but all of a sudden your whole body is being rocked because they're so loud that you can't ignore them. And maybe you've gotten good at ignoring them. So that's something to think about. Do I even acknowledge my feelings? Do I allow them to feel? And then maybe taking that a step further, how long do I allow them?
Oh, that's a good one. I think too, if you don't acknowledge and allow them, you will find yourself crying in Target.
When Celine Dion comes on.
Yeah.
Is that just me?
It's going to come out in another way or form, whether it's anger, sadness, madness. Oh my gosh. It's going to come
out. That's such a good point. And always something to remember. My one therapist back in the day, anger never comes by itself.
Never.
It's always disguising another emotion. So if you think anger is just anger, maybe dive in a little bit deeper. Okay, the next one, like I said, identify the feeling. What is it? Is it just I'm frustrated? Is it something deeper?
Is it a couple different things? Is it a physical thing? Is it emotional? Is it something you need to actually sit and talk about with somebody? It's really, really identifying the feeling.
And also understanding where it comes from.
Oh, yes.
Right? Is it something that's happening right now, or is it something that's happening because of the past?
Which leads us to letting emotions exist without judgment.
And that's so hard to do.
It's so hard to do. So hard.
Because if you do finally figure out, okay, well, this is what I'm feeling and this is where it comes from, sometimes you judge that.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in the past. I'm not over that yet. Or if you've been told you're too much your whole life, I'm still upset about that. Something like drama queen, crazy, all these labels can come up when you think about why you're feeling what you're feeling. And you have to understand that that's not yours. Those are other people's words. And so you're existing in that feeling without the judgment you're putting on yourself or that anyone else would.
Yeah. And today, in my spiral of overwhelm, I literally was judging myself because on Saturday I didn't work the whole day. And most of the time, because I do work from my phone, I work every single day for an hour. I'm while I'm sitting there with the kids, I'll edit something or I'll get something organized or I'll schedule mocks. I'll move the grid around, figure out what it's going to be. And this morning I was literally well, it's because you took a break on Saturday.
Don't you
And
ever.
that judgment. And then I'm no, even if you look at if you follow me on Instagram, you saw my story where I'm laying with my kids on the couch. And I'm I never do this. And it was fun. It was nice. And I found myself judging myself again. Why did you do that? You're behind. And it's no, these feelings are just feelings.
Yeah. Yes. Letting them, they're not good or bad. That's another thing too. And I think that if you grew up in the millennial generation, like good and bad is so ingrained in us, and what is good and what is bad, and being good and performing good versus performing bad. And a lot of the judgment comes from that, labeling it good or bad instead of just not labeling it at all. I say this all the time, so I love that I got this one, is get curious.
Yes.
When you want to judge, there is actually an opportunity there to get curious. And this requires almost like sometimes when I'm talking to ChatGPT, I make it go into older sister mode. And that's kind of what I think about this. Like, just think about you're like your older sister or your best friend talking to you. They're not going to say, oh my gosh, and judge you that way. They're going to say, well, why? Why did Allie do that way? Why is Jess doing things that way? And getting curious about the why and following that.
Yeah, no, I love that so much. The next is practice compassion.
Oh,
which is huge. Ugh. And just like you said, talk to yourself like you would your best friend or your daughter or your son. You know, like the self-talk is very important. And the way that you talk to yourself is huge.
It's huge. And as you're practicing compassion, this might be woo-woo, but like, notice where in your body you're feeling that emotion, and maybe that's where you send that compassion. But sometimes I used to, it like takes me back to my first heartbreak and remembering that was an actual physical feeling. Like my heart actually hurt when I was that sad. And I know that we've all experienced heartbreak where we can physically feel it, but that is such a good thing to sit with and notice. Like, is this coming from the pit of my stomach? Does my head hurt? Is it coming from a certain side of my head? Is it my heart, my chest? Where in my body do I have this emotion? And believe it or not, a lot of that is correlated with actual, like, where you hold emotions in your body. You hold certain emotions in your kidney. You hold certain emotions in your spleen, in your womb, in your heart space. And noticing where you feel it is a really good first step to attacking it, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And
I think stress is one that you feel the most, like right in the back, you know, like physically you feel. The next one, validate what and why you're having that feeling. Like, just validation is everything in life.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it is.
This is where big sister and best friend mode comes back in, because even when the person that you love the most, the woman in your life that you love the most, the person in your life slips, like, or you are like, okay, I can kind of see where you did something wrong there. You do not let them leave that conversation without validating and honestly understanding exactly why, putting yourself in your shoes and being like, there's a reason you acted that way. And that reason isn't because you're good or bad. That isn't because you're A, B, or C. That reason is because of this happened in your past, or because you didn't have or you only had limited tools, or, you know, maybe you're still thinking about something that happened when you were drinking. And that reason exists because alcohol is a very powerful, powerful drug that can take everything over. So really leaning into that and validating what is happening and why it's happening, as you would your friend.
Yes.
Yes. Staying mindful and present. And this reminds me of another technique my old therapist taught me, of being in the now and understanding where in your timeline this feeling is happening. Maybe you're feeling this feeling at a 9, when normally this feeling would be felt like at a 4. But you're feeling it at a 9 because all of these feelings from the past are coming back up. And so all you have to do is take that past, that chunk from the past, put it back where it goes, and then maybe understanding, oh, okay, that opens up room for me to feel this a little bit more presently. What's happening in the now? I'm not fighting for my life like I was in the past.
Yeah.
I'm actually just stuck at a red light.
Yeah. And then the last one, which we've kind of already talked about, but it's check the self-talk, which we definitely have talked about. But it's so important because you are your biggest critic, and like you would never say the things that you say to yourself to other people.
No. And sometimes you don't even notice it truly. Like sometimes like the way that you talk to yourself is the way that got you out of situations in the past, or it's helped you be tough, or maybe like you've not wanted to be sensitive. And so you developed this way of self-talking that's maybe gotten you through some things. Well, maybe it's not serving you anymore.
Yeah.
So understanding, taking a step back and being like, how do I talk to myself? Like literally in those moments, what's the first thing I say? Is it judgment? Does the words come from somebody else? Allie and I have mentioned the podcast that speaks about from the ages of 0 to 7, everything that you take in. I've noticed a lot when I'm scolding or getting upset, a lot of the things that come out of my mouth are something that was said to me at a young age.
Yes.
And so now that's where that's coming from. And it's like, whoa, 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 that was never mine to begin with. And now I've taken it on and lived with it. And that's how I've been talking to myself for this long.
Yeah, no.
Checking that.
Yeah.
'Cause you deserve so much more.
Yes.
And so your task,
Yes.
shall you choose to accept it? This week, or actually scratch that now. After you're done listening to this, come on guys, you know the rules can be bended here. Find that chair. Find that chair because you're physically going to sit with that feeling. And maybe you don't go through all of these steps because they were super overwhelming to you. Maybe you find the one step that stood out to you the most. Maybe you felt it somewhere in your body. Maybe it pinged that exact place in your body that you're feeling this emotion now. That's the step we want you to do.
Yes. And also, just like sobriety, do this your way.
Yeah.
However feels right to you. Sit with those feelings.
And this is an opportunity. It's not a task. It's not homework. It's not something that you need to shy away from. This is an opportunity to know yourself more, to understand yourself more, and to just find a better way of living, a better way of life now that you've chose to step away from alcohol.
Yeah. Turn the music up, get your journal out, do whatever you have to do.
Play some sound bowls, pull some cards.
Yeah.
Have a great Monday. We love you, babes.
Talk soon.